Okay, we're going to start working on unit fraction 2. Question A. It says, shade the fraction model below to show 4/6. Label each unit fraction. Write this fraction as the sum of a unit fraction. So I'm going to shade in 4/6 on my hexagon. I'm going to shade it with the yellow highlighter. So that's 1/6. That's 2/6. That's 3/6, and 4/6 is shaded. And we're going to go ahead and label each one. So each one represents 1/6 of the hexagon. Okay, and we have 4/6 is equal to 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6. Go ahead and look at B. Okay, B says, Marlowe ate part of a whole chocolate bar. He used a number line and a fraction model to represent the amount of the chocolate bar he ate. So you have a bar graph right here and a number line that both represent how much he ate. Okay, what we need to do is write a numerical sentence that represents the sum of unit fractions of the chocolate bar Marlowe ate. So I can see on my bar graph right there that the bar is broken into 4 equal parts, and it looks like there's 1/4 and another 1/4. So it looks like you may have ate 2/4 of it. On the number line, shows the same thing. That represents 1/4, and that represents a second fourth. So the numerical sentence that we would write would be 1/4 plus 1/4 equals 2/4. Oh, not 4, but 2/4. Go ahead and look at C. Okay, C says, Lori is working with the model below. So we got 2 hexagons right here. It says she shaded 2/3 of the first model and 1/3 of the second model. Which equation represents the sum of the unit fractions she shaded? And shade the model solved. So we'll go ahead and shade it. Use my highlighter, shade it. So the first model is 2/3 shaded, and the second model is 1/3 shaded. So we have some answer choices here. The first one says that 1/3 plus 1/3 equals 2/6, and that's not a correct statement. Whenever we're adding fractions that have the same numerator, the numerator always stays the same. So 1/3 plus 1/3 doesn't equal 2/6. It would actually equal 2/3. Okay, but that does not represent the amount that she shaded. Okay, the next one says B. It says 1/3 plus 1/3 equals 1/3. Okay, that's not true either. 1/3 plus 1/3 equals 2/3. And that doesn't represent the amount of the model that she, both the models she shaded. It represents one of them, but it doesn't represent both of them. C, it says 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3 equals 3/3 or 1/2. And that does sound to be true. I'm going to put an M there because I can see 1/3, 1/3, and 1/3 shaded, so it's 3/3 of shaded. And I know that 3/3 equals 1/2 because whenever the numerator is the same as the denominator, that represents 1/2. And we'll look at the last one. D, it says 3/3 plus 1/3 equals 4/3. That is a true statement, but that does not represent what she shaded. So we can eliminate that one. The correct answer would be C. 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3 equals 3/3 or 1/2. Look at D. Okay, on D, it says, look at the number line. Write a mathematical sentence for the fractions marked with a dot to show the sum of unit fractions. Okay, so when you show the sum of unit fractions, we know unit fractions are fractions that have the numerator of 1, and I see that it shows that 6/8 is the mark where they put the dot on the number line, and each one that jumps represents 1/8, so that's 1/8. The next jump would represent 1/8. The next jump would represent 1/8. Another jump is 1/8. That jump is 1/8. And the last jump is another 8. And altogether that is 6/8. And I'd represent that as 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8 equals 6/8. So whenever I'm adding and I have the same denominator, my denominator doesn't change, all I have to do is add my numerators. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that would be 6/8. Look at E. E says, a grocer sold 1/4 pound of apples to each of 3 different customers. Which equation can be used to find the fraction of a pound of apples the grocer sold the 3 customers? So he sold 1/4 pound to each of 3 different customers. Okay, so that equation would be 1/4 would be the first customer plus 1/4 the second customer plus 1/4 the third customer equals 3/4. Look at the answer choices. F says that 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4, which represents how many fourths the grocer sold, but it says it equals 3/12. And on that one, they would have added the denominators together and then add the numerators together. But that's not how we add fractions with the same denominator. So that one is false, not F. Okay, answer choice G says 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 equals 3/4, and that looks very similar to the equation that we wrote to solve it. So I'll put a maybe there beside that. We'll still look at our rest of our answer choices. The next one says 1/7 plus 1/7 plus 1/7 equals 3/7. That's a true statement. That does equal 3/7, but that doesn't represent the amount that each person bought, so we can eliminate answer choice H. And the last one says that 1/4 plus 1/4 equals 2/4. That's a true statement, but that doesn't represent our problem. So we can eliminate answer choice J, so that means G is the correct answer choice. And let's go ahead and look at F. F says Victor wrote 4 equations using fractions. Okay, each addend has a numerator equal to 1. The sum of each equation has a numerator equal to 4. Which of Victor's equations is not correct? Okay, so they all have a numerator that's equal to 1, or the addends have a numerator equal to 1, and the equation has a numerator equal to 4, so that means the answer is 4. So we're going to look at which one is not correct. So we looked at all of our answer choices. Okay, the first one says 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8 equals 4/8. Okay, I have all the same denominator of 8. They all have a numerator of 1, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So that looks like a true statement. We'll put a T right there. Look at the next one, answer choice B. I see all have a numerator of 1, and the sum has a numerator of 4, so that matches what it says in the question. But it looks like I have 1, 2, 3/5, not 4/5, so that one is actually false. We'll still go and look at the rest of our answer choices. Answer choice C says 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 equals 4/6. Looks like all my add-ins have a numerator 1, and my answer, my sum, has a numerator 4. And it looks like we added the denominators right, because they all have a 6 as the denominator, and the answer has a 6 in the denominator. I'll check. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4/6, and that does look like a true statement. So 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 equals 4/6. And the last one, D, says 1/10 plus 1/10 plus 1/10 plus 1/10 equals 4/10. They all have a numerator 1, and the sum has a numerator of 4. Looks like I have 1, 2, 3, 4/10. So that is a true statement also. So the one that is not true is answer choice B, because the sum of 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5 is not 4/5.